Hey guys, we have energy this weekend that is really being defined by a pretty expansive heart healing that is underway on a collective and frequency based level. There could be some wounds being triggered, you guys, specifically in regards to inner child issues. Aside from the heart based healing energy that is indicated right now through an exact conjunction between Venus and Chiron, with Jupiter only 1 degree off in the sign of Aries that we have playing out this weekend, we also have the moon transiting the sign of Leo all weekend, again, indicating themes of the heart, bringing up themes of the inner child, and the moon in Leo is going to be activating the black moon right now, which is also transiting the sign of Leo. So this could be triggering some fears, some worries, some insecurities, some doubts, or perhaps some long-standing inner child wounds that have impacted our subconscious programming, some ego issues we may be sort of coming up against. But the ultimate theme of the weekend is this healing. So we have a lot of energy to talk about this weekend, you guys. Lots happening on the ground. Let's get into our report. Let's break down this energy in a little bit more detail and see how it may be coloring our experience through life this weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, March 3rd, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. We are talking about Friday, March 3rd, Saturday, March 4th, Sunday, March 5th in this video from an energetic astrological perspective. And it's healing that's coming through this weekend, you guys. We are in some profound healing energy. It's almost like a magical dose of this divinely sprinkled beauty that is helping to heal these old wounds, to reinvigorate and to re-inspire and to just put the pieces of our heart back together to help us. It's like soul retrieval energy is sort of how I feel like this is coming through. If you guys watched my video for yesterday, when I was talking specifically about the dynamic of Venus and Chiron and Jupiter together in the sky, and how gives like this Cinderella type vibe, like this fairy godmother type energy that is really helping us, you guys, to overcome some of our victim complexes, and in that process, transmute some of our lower states and transcend some of our lower ego urges and come into a greater place of self-mastery, where we can align ourselves with like a process of self-actualization that is helping us to like rise into our potential and activate our destiny and move in a direction that will ultimately lead to a tremendously more fulfilling experience than maybe what we've been struggling with or just living in or experiencing up until this point in time. As we transition to the age of Aquarius, universe is really trying to like activate all of us and turn our light on, and we're at the healing phase of that journey, the hero's journey, our journey from states of victimhood to states of self-mastery through this, Chiron, the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype. It's this process of experiencing some type of profound trauma, pain, wounding, brokenness, but not allowing that to destroy us, and instead going through this process of learning about how it happened, finding the root of it so that we can ultimately find the cure for ourselves. It's this self-inflicted healing process that no one can do for us. And as we go through this, we become a living example, okay, for others walking a similar course. That is how the wisdom of Chiron is transferred. It's wisdom through experience. It's like, what's that saying? Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And I feel like there's like a whole bunch of different sayings like that are basically insinuating like you can't teach anybody how to do their own hero's journey, how to go through this process of internalized transmutation and alchemization. It's going to be a unique and special process for anybody, but through the example of how we do that for ourselves, we can sort of lead other people that way and sort of inspire people to go through the process on their own that way. That is how the Chiron, like I said, that is how the Chiron wisdom is sort of transferred. And bringing that back to where we are at today with the conjunction to Venus and the conjunction to Jupiter, Chiron being the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype. After we go through this healing journey and after we have gained the wisdom and we know how to like pull ourselves out of that darkness, we transcend the experience, and that experience in and of itself teaches us how to more consciously interact and interface with the reality as it's unfolding around us. So we are, not only do we perceive ourselves as like having transcended states of victimhood, but we literally have transcended states of victimhood because we have realized that we actually have a tremendous ability and power to co-create our experiences, and we are at the whim of no one but our own lack of understanding or our own subconscious programming or our own internalized unhealed wounds. And so as this energy is coming together for us, and we have Jupiter here, which is the great light, which is the great benefic, which is wisdom and truth and a higher perspective and a greater awareness in the sign of the self as well, the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars, ruling, the who we are. This is how we self-identify. This is the sign of the self. There is this self-motivated healing that is underway through this gaining of this personal truth and this self-awareness, and simultaneously the trust and the faith and the belief in ourselves that we can actually go through this process and that we can actually be successful, and like that we can move forward. We're not hiding from the process. We have the faith that we can successfully complete the mission before us, this hero's journey. And then we're bringing in Venus, so we know that this is in terms of relationship dynamics, or having to do with value, having to do with worth, self-worth, self-value, where we've been wounded in relationships, where our heart has been broken, where we've been denied love, where we've been made to feel less than, you know what I mean? Or like we're not enough. These are the themes that are both coming up so that we can gain this awareness and this energy, but simultaneously so they can be healed, so they can be released. This is a rare aspect. This is a rare alignment. Jupiter and Chiron only come together. This is like a once in a 20-year transit between like 14 or 15 and like 19 years. They come together, and Venus to be in that alignment right here for the specific period of time when these two planets are coming together, like that's also rare in and of itself. So we have a very magical energy that is going on right now. Simultaneously, as we are in this very transitional month of March, we have two big outer planets at 29 degrees right now, indicating having come to the end of some pretty significant cycles of time as well. This is ending karmic cycles with Saturn. This is ending cycles of like power and control that have been existing for long periods of time as well, with Pluto in the end of Capricorn. And we are on the brink of starting really something brand new and like quite revolutionary with Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be very self-empowering, and a part of that process, or the part of that process that we are going through at this point in time to prepare us for that part of the process, which is to come, is about this heart-based healing. And I find it very interesting because it's not just the heart-based healing that is being indicated this weekend. It's also, like I said, this inner child healing that is being super emphasized by the fact that the moon is going to be transiting the sign of Leo all weekend while we've got the black moon in Leo. What does this do? This triggers these inner child wounds, or these inner child issues, or these ego-based issues as a result, right, of these shadows that have formed around our heart in one reason or another. When we're talking about the black moon in the sign of Leo, in the sign of the heart, in the sign of the light. So we've got the heart-based healing in a very big way through this gaining of awareness that's being indicated through the triplicity of planets in the sign of Aries, while we've got the moon in the sign of Leo, also indicating the heart, also triggering our issues, also triggering our deep wounds and our insecurities, and where we feel unloved, or where we feel unappreciated or unseen or less than or powerless as well. And helping us to gain an awareness of those and the root of those, because that's what the black moon does. When the black moon is activated, yeah, it triggers our issues, but it's always to try to help us gain an awareness so that we can, like, whatever sign the black moon is transiting, like, consciously have the awareness to reprogram that facet of our psyche so that we can stop perpetuating those shadow issues and living the results of those shadow issues as, of course, a consequence of the vibration that we are carrying or projecting out. Black moon is also about projecting. So we've got sort of two different vibes going on this weekend that are both talking about the same thing, triggering kind of the same thing, bringing up sort of the same issues, but then this majorly healing energy that's coming through. A lot pushing to help us gain this awareness, but simultaneously to help us flush it out and to heal it. And I actually find it to be extremely beautiful because on Saturday, you guys, the moon in Leo that is activating this black moon energy that is triggering these issues is going to be forming a trine, which is the most assisting and positive and facilitating aspect with the Aries triple fairy godmother energy planets. So there's going to be on Saturday facilitation, an assisting faculty, a flow of energy going on between the moon and Leo and between Venus and Chiron and Jupiter and Aries that is really like enabling and perpetuating this release and this healing of these long-standing issues. Remember, we're also talking about Pluto right now at the last degree of Capricorn. This is the end of like a reign of power in one way or another. And if it's and this Pluto is ruling the South Node, which is the position talking about our past and talking about what we're releasing ourselves from. And so, if we are releasing ourselves at this point in time from circumstances or situations or mindsets or beliefs that we needed to surrender our power because of any lack that we held inside, like that whole situation is what is crumbling right now in order so that we can like rebuild. Saturn about to move into the sign of Pisces, rebuild some new foundations of our own, in regards to our own perception of our own value and of our own worth, in alignment with these higher spiritual truths and our higher selves and our higher knowing and stuff that is also going to become really relevant over this next couple of years as Saturn begins transiting the sign of Pisces. And we just feel this responsibility to not avoid the higher path or the spiritual guidance or like what we know we should be doing type of thing. So all weekend, this energy helping us to get better from things that maybe have been keeping us just in a place where we couldn't experience true love or true joy for a really long time. This energy is also trying to like bring us back to life and reawaken our inner child and reconnect us to the inner child and like our true sources of joy and creative, personal creative self-expression and like what we authentically need to feel alive and to feel loved and to thrive and all of these like more positive octave Leo themes. So we've got a lot of that. And then we've also got Mercury moving into the sign of Pisces, which is changing the vibe as well. And we need to talk about that. But let's start at the top, you guys. That was kind of like my encapsulation and summary of what is playing out throughout the course of this weekend. But specifically narrowing in on Friday, I do feel like this is primarily like our most significant energy day this weekend, although Saturday is pretty big business too with the trine coming in between the moon and Leo and the Aries planets like I was talking about. But, Friday is the day where we have some shifts, Mercury moving into the sign of Pisces on Friday. We have these exact alignments going on as well, Venus and Chiron in exact conjunction, which of course I've already mentioned a lot. But in terms of the Mercury leaving Aquarius, entering Pisces type of energy, we could feel like we've sort of been released from something, or we've finished something, or we've completed something that we've like been committed to, or that we've been very focused on, or that we've been working very hard on. We may also just find ourselves sort of like losing interest perhaps in maybe what it is that sort of like captivated our attention or that we've been like consumed by on a mental level over this past couple of weeks. Definite shift in vibes, the way that our mind is working and what's captivating our attention, like I said, and like what we're interested in, moving from the Aquarius and right out of exact conjunction with Saturn also yesterday, and now into the Pisces vibe, which is totally different. This Mercury and Pisces energy, this is a much more abstract, like non-linear mental energy. Mercury doesn't necessarily love to be in the sign of Pisces. It does give, though, a strong imagination and ability to sort of like daydream and visualize and fantasize and create. It's just like not the most like straightforward, necessarily like logical, rational way that mental energy is working. It's kind of like Mercury and Neptune going together, but it is very intuitive. It is very receptive. It may be a bit undisciplined. It maybe likes to procrastinate a little bit, but it also really likes like metaphors and riddles and codes and symbolism, like anything that is not like super direct and super to the point and is more like flowery language and like beating around the bush about things a little bit. That's just the way that Mercury in the sign of Pisces has a tendency of operating. Generally quite spiritually engaged though, and sort of oriented towards communicating and interacting with the more subtle or unseen forces, being able to channel sort of divine inspiration and be guided by a higher power in a more like tangible way. This is also can have a tendency of being like a more childlike attitude about things, like a more carefree approach to things, less serious about stuff when we're dealing with Mercury in Pisces, which again is sort of reinforcing these like inner child vibes and the need to sort of like play and have fun and like release ourselves from the harsh duties of like the real world. Perhaps this weekend could definitely be a vibe, especially in the energy on Saturday. But this is sort of how this Pisces Mercury energy operates. Sometimes Mercury in the sign of Pisces, you guys, can be deceitful, can be manipulative, because we're talking about Neptune, which a lot of times likes to like cloud things and deceive and like all of that type of stuff. However, we do have Saturn moving into the sign of Pisces in literally 2 days on the 7th. So any tendency towards falsehoods or deception or avoidance or illusion or escapism playing out in the realms of Pisces energy over the next 2 years are going to be getting some type of big universal smackdown in a pretty like instant karma type of way if they are trying to be perpetuated. So people are about to get a lot more honest about things, and I don't think that the deceptive side of the Mercury Pisces energy is going to be as big of a theme over this next 2 years as it may be just in its general nature as one of the duplicitous ways that the Pisces energy operates. Because remember, Pisces is a sign about polarities. It is a dually oriented sign, and the glyph is two fish swimming in opposite directions. So we've always got two sides of the story, kind of like Gemini when we're dealing in Pisces energy. But we're about to get a lot more real, you guys. We're about to get a lot more honest about stuff over this next couple of years, and I think that that's a good thing. Anyways, though, in the context of this Mercury Pisces energy, in the context of our Venus Chiron with Jupiter going on today, and our Black Moon Leo Moon energy, also I should say the Moon is not just in Leo today, activating the Black Moon. The Moon will, to start our day, form an opposition to Pluto. Okay, this is also talking about this regeneration, this transformation, this purge, and this purification, and this crumbling, but also this regrowth and this sprouting from the ashes effect. So major healing themes going on in terms of the aspect that the moon in Leo is making today as well, to go along with our Chiron, hero's journey, transmutation, alchemization energy. The Pluto regeneration, transformation energy is also being activated. Not only that, the moon will also be squaring the nodes of the moon. So it's destiny and karma being activated as well that are pulled into this whole loop today. And the moon will make the conjunction to the Black Moon in Leo today as well. It's interesting also, you guys, the Black Moon right now is at 7 degrees of Leo. That Sabian symbol is the wonder of the constellations in the night sky. And so I do feel like this is talking about, like this cosmic blueprint being very relevant right now in whatever darkness may be rising to the surface, whatever wounds may be rising to the surface. It's like as a part of this divine plan that is unfolding to like show us the light and to bring us back into alignment with the truth of our value in this divine timing. So I really like actually that that's the position of the Black Moon right now as we're going through this window of energy this weekend. So we do have all of those aspects playing out with the moon in the sign of Leo today as well. And I do think with Mercury in the sign of Pisces, we will have the mental aptitude to tap into our higher selves. And Mercury, ruling choices and decisions and what we're talking about, like to make the choices or to make decisions or to, have the conversations or to gain the insight or to receive some type of information or something that is in alignment or helping us move towards the higher truth of our heart and our soul and our spirit, because that's really what this healing boils down to. It's like our inner child and our heart, but it's really also our soul with the moon going there and the moon even in the sign of the sun. This is also talking about, I just feel like it's a 360 healing that's coming through based in like filling us back up on a heart-based level, some of the places in our heart that maybe were really damaged in the past and we hadn't been able to really recover from. The Sabians, you guys, are really crazy in the energy on Friday as well. I don't want to make this video like super, super long, but I want to read you guys actually all of these Sabian symbols that we have on Friday because I feel like they're all right in alignment with each other. They're all giving a lot of the same themes, and I just feel like, if they are pieces of a puzzle and you take these symbols and you sort of like piece them together in your own psyche, I feel like, we can come to our own conclusions symbolically coming through as well about basically what's transpiring at this point in time. So on Friday, we have the sun at 13 degrees of Pisces. An ancient sword used in many battles is displayed in a museum. Something's being put to rest. We have 13 degrees of Virgo, where the earth is. A powerful statesman overcomes a state of political hysteria. So we've got that one going on as well. We have Mercury at 2 degrees of Pisces, a squirrel hiding from hunters. We also have Venus and Chiron at 14 degrees of Aries for their first day conjunction. That Sabian symbol is a serpent coiling near a man and a woman. We have Mars at 21 degrees of Gemini, a tumultuous labor demonstration. We have Jupiter at 13 Aries, a bomb which failed to go off is now safely hidden from discovery. We have Saturn at 30 Aquarius, moonlit fields once Babylon are now blooming white. We have Uranus at 16 Taurus, an old teacher fails to interest his students in traditional knowledge. Neptune at 25 Pisces, the purging of the priesthood. Pluto at 30 degrees of Capricorn, a secret meeting of men responsible for world affairs. The North Node at 6 Taurus, a bridge being built across a high, narrow gorge. The South Node at 16 Scorpio, a gold rush tears men away from their native lands. And the Black Moon at 7 degrees of Leo, the wonder of the constellations of the stars in the night sky. I just see revolution, change of guard, transformation, reclaiming power, righting and rectifying things, all over these symbols, said in various ways. Symbols basically saying the same things as other symbols in different ways. They just fit together, and I feel like that's the story that's being told. Very powerful symbolism that is coming through on Friday. Very powerful energy that is coming through on Friday. Moving into Saturday, I do feel like Saturday is going to be kind of like a great day. Again, though, just these massive themes of healing, but it should be happening. Like, it's just happening. It's not a square between these planets. This is a trine aspect and fire signs. Like, there is just something that is inspiring us, or that is motivating us, or that is just like waking up inside of us, that is giving us the strength and the motivation or the courage, or some type of an awakening, or some type of information that is coming to us in some type of way. That is like re-inspiring this healing process going on within us, that is helping us to heal our inner child, that is helping us to release and move on from like the old version of ourselves that was existing in any state of like victimhood, or didn't see the truth of our value or the truth of our worth, that was out of alignment with our own like relationship to ourselves in like some capacity. This could definitely be, we also have a square to Uranus that is going on, the moon in Leo. If it's trining the fire sign planets, it's going to be the Leo is a fixed sign, it's going to be squaring the other fixed signs, and Uranus is in Taurus, which is another fixed sign. So while we have the trine going on between the moon in Leo and Jupiter, Venus, Chiron in the sign of Aries, now on Saturday, it's so funny, you guys. This happens all the time. I notice this all the time. These outer planets that take like so long to move. Chiron has been at 14 degrees of the sign of Aries for like weeks. And it's just so ironic. Like, a planet will come in and will conjunct the outer planet, the slow moving outer planet, which should only be like a 1-day conjunction, and it will be like that specific day that outer planet also, it's like on cue for it to finally move to the next degree, and it will turn a 1-day personal planet conjunction, like with one of the faster outer moving planets like the sun or Mercury or even the moon, or well, not technically the moon moves too fast, but Venus, or like even Mars, from like a 1-day transit to a 2-day transit, because they end up like coming to the conjunction and then moving to the next degree together. And that is what is happening with Venus and Chiron. Actually, Venus and Chiron come to the exact to the minute conjunction at, it's technically 13 degrees and 59 minutes. So at the very, 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 very last degree minute of the 13 degree, which I'm reading 14 degrees when I'm saying it because I'm talking about the Sabian symbol. And when we do Sabian symbols, we always round up a degree. So if it's at 13 degrees in terms of the actual placement, I'm saying probably 14 degrees because I'm looking at the Sabian symbol for 14 degrees, because I'm reading that energy as well, because as I just got done talking about like the Sabian symbols, have a tendency of being like very relevant and also describing like the function of the aspects as they're playing out. So I've been saying 14 degrees for the alignment between Venus and Chiron, but technically it's actually at 13 degrees, and it was at 13 degrees 59 minutes. And so moving into Saturday, they are both moving to 14 degrees, which is a Sabian symbol for 15 degrees. So they're both discharging actually 15 degrees Sabian symbol of the sign of Aries on Saturday. That Sabian symbol is an Indian weaving a blanket. So we go from, what was the 14 degrees? From a serpent coiling near a man and a woman to an Indian weaving a blanket. Like the serpent coiling near a man and woman. I feel like this is like, unseen threats that maybe we didn't even know were happening or were right there or were going on around us that may have been like sabotaging our progress or creating inner conflict or creating a sense of like internalized toxicity that was holding us back or suppressing us or keeping us attached to things that weren't good for us or poisoning us or experience in some type of way. And maybe we didn't even know that was going on. But through this black moon energy and through this grand fairy godmother, Chiron, Jupiter, Venus alignment, like we're gaining the awareness, we're noticing, we're seeing the serpent coiling in the corner and we're being able to like take action and do something about it. And then we have the Indian weaving the blanket, the degree that they're moving to. To me, this is just things coming together and being woven together, the threads of time, like this divinely timed, divinely aligned, synchronistic unfolding of things right now as well. But I also feel like things are coming together in the proper way. They're being woven together correctly. Things are being righted and the pattern is unfolding properly, I feel like is what is being indicated moving forward, since these two planets are both moving forward together now. And we actually have a progression of energy on Saturday as well. Jupiter is at 14 degrees, Chiron is at 15 degrees, and then halfway through the day on Saturday, Venus will move on, will come to 16 degrees. So I feel like, this is talking about like moving forward, moving on. Things are unfolding now. The progression is going according to the proper trajectory of growth. Like the healing has been implemented and like things are going according to the proper plan moving forward. Okay, so the trine coming in on Saturday, facilitating this energy, the Indian weaving a blanket, things are coming together. The square to Uranus, also, Uranus is the great rectifier, you guys. Uranus puts things right. There could be some sudden disruptions or some upsets or some uncomfortable truths or uncomfortable awakenings that are playing in somehow. But I generally feel like this energy on Saturday is going to have us kind of wanting to like switch things up, change things up, escape from the mundane, do something different that sort of like honors our inner nature, like recognizes our inner child, like helps us reconnect to like what really brings us joy and like a need to have fun, a need to play. This is a weekend to like sort of cut loose and do something different that like really makes you feel alive or just makes you feel like a kid again. That is what the energy is calling for and wants for us on Saturday. There could be issues with the heart coming up, like I've been saying, love, romance, children, inner child, childhood wounding, all of that. But we want to be free. We want to have fun. We want to celebrate life. We want to be who we truly are and express, the truth of what is in our heart. Personal creative self-expression, really important in the energy as it's coming together on Saturday. And like I said, we're probably with the square to Uranus wanting to free ourselves, wanting to liberate ourselves, wanting to do something fun out of the ordinary, just to feel alive, to feel like we're living a real life and like we're really ourselves again. Our inner child wants to come out and play this weekend, you guys, and it will benefit us tremendously if we can indulge that energy, if we can give into these urges, and if we can find ways to feel like a kid again and to, re-experience the things that from the beginning have just like lighted up our life. It made us feel like just enthusiastic and joyful and like, brought back that reinvigorated us, okay, in the context of living our lives and wanting to live our best lives and being inspired to like really just like make it a fun, enjoyable experience again. Okay, we're being re-inspired to sort of like get back to living the life that we've always wanted to live in alignment with who we were always meant to become, regardless of maybe how far we've gotten away from that over God knows how many years, perhaps even like the past 20 years, considering we're talking about literally like some 20-year aspects and energy that are coming through right now. Inner child healing, like I said, where we've been detached from our own sense of self, our own sense of self-worth, our own sense of self-love because of how other people have treated us. This is what's being remedied. This is what's being alleviated. This is what we're finally detaching ourselves from. This is a release also, you guys, of generational karma. We're talking about Saturn moving into the sign of Pisces. The sign of Pisces, it dissolves things, it erodes things. And it's also, Saturn is going to be forming a trine to the south node coming up here soon too. We are entering a phase of really breaking free from some karmic chains or some karmic bonds that are very generational and that are very family oriented. On Saturday, we have the Earth at 14 degrees of Virgo, a family tree. This is being indicated again here in the context of this inner child stuff that's coming up, you guys, and this heart-based healing. Anywhere where our sense of self-worth, like I said, or self-love or self-value has been distorted as a result of how other people have treated us, generationally even, like this is what is the universe is trying to heal us from, to cure in this energy. We also, like I said, the Indian weaving the blanket, you guys, that's the degree where it is on Saturday. It's all coming together. Things are coming together. Black moon day, again, we are in black moon energy, so it is, it's such a strange juxtaposition of like feelings. It's like, while we may simultaneously be immersed in some of like the darkest parts of our experience, it's like we also have more hope than maybe we've ever had for our future because of the shift in perspective through which we're viewing maybe some of the like most dark stuff, that we've gone through. So it's like that. It's like the darkness and the light both like very tangible and palpable, and like we're seeing both of them at the same time. But it's like because we're seeing both at the same time, we know like where in the darkness is requiring the light and where we need to shift and look at the darkness differently so that it also is in balance with the light. Both of those type of things. Very complex way, I guess we could say. Very deep and complex way the energy is operating. Gaining probably a pretty significant awareness of how our ego or how our insecurities have actually blocked us or kept us from being able to experience like real, true love and joy in our lives. But simultaneously, we're also being released from a lot of the habitual patterns as a result of maybe these traumas or these states of victimhood that we've been holding on to as we awaken to the truth of our potential and the truth of our purpose and the truth of this original wounding perhaps, and free ourselves from that cycle through our personal hero's journey with this Chiron energy. So we're being our own hero, you guys. That's what it is too. That's what the hero's journey is. It's being our own hero. It's being our own savior. It's saving our own world. You know what I mean? It's being our own knight in shining armor. And like the realizations and the empowerment that come as a result of that, like that's what changes the world, you guys, and that's what also shifts us into the age of Aquarius. So all that being said, let's move on. Let's talk about Sunday. Sunday's a bit of a different vibe than Friday and Saturday. Things could take a bit of a more like sober or somber or serious tone or turn kind of on Sunday. We do still have this black moon energy going on, of course. We're in black moon all weekend, but the moon in Leo will be coming into an opposition with Saturn at that crucial, critical 29th degree of the sign of Aquarius, just really emphasizing the Saturnian vibes. There could be kind of a internalized connection or just feeling bound sort of to our duties and our responsibilities and our tasks and our commitments, a sense of kind of like coming back to reality after a weekend, again, that could have felt quite magical with the triplicity of planets, Venus, Chiron, Jupiter, together in the sign of Aries. This is sort of just like reeling it back in, regrounding ourselves, sort of snapping out of whatever we were in over the past couple days, and kind of also like reflecting on just more seriously maybe what we learned or the wisdom that we gained or like the next phase in our journey, like what we need to do next as a result of what we've discovered over this past couple of days, reflecting on how our ego may be also out of alignment with our heart or our authentic truth, and maybe like how that is blocking us being able to receive what is real and true in terms of like love and joy and stuff like that as well. But I feel like, you know, the lesson that we've kind of gained, like also just sort of like reflecting, yeah, on like maybe the lessons that we've learned over this past couple days. But I feel like what it's coming down to and what the general sense of things on Sunday is likely to be is the mantra, right? I no longer need to prove myself, to love myself, and to know I am loved. After all of the healing energy that's coming through, I feel like we're going to have a pretty serious commitment by the time that we get to Sunday to our own like self-love journey or to our own inner healing, and really not caring so much at all about any of the naysayers or any of the critics, or, you know, really what anybody thinks about the choices that we're making for ourselves in our own best interest as a result of the love that we have for ourselves at this point in time. I no longer need to prove myself to you, to love myself and to know that I'm loved. Whereas before we may have felt like we always had to prove ourselves because we were lacking that connection to ourselves internally. After this energy, I feel like we're going to be coming from facing the external world and people around us in a different way as a result of the healing, right? The healing that's gone on, changing the way that we are relating to others and what we are willing to like surrender in and of ourselves. We're not going to be as likely and willing to betray ourselves moving forward, I don't think. And again, you know, Saturn about to move into the sign of Pisces, the need to be committed to a higher power, a higher truth, a spiritual connection, doing what's right, our higher selves being reflected in this energy as it's playing out on Sunday as well. Also on Sunday, we have the sun as an exact midpoint between Mercury and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Very thin veil between the world right now, spiritual connection, spiritual assistance, spiritual guidance, our intuition, very strong. You know, you may just have a greater like perception of the unseen, of the invisible, and just be able to like feel it a bit more palpable in your like physical experience right now. And also I feel like some of the symbolism coming through is kind of priming us for what we're moving into next week, when Mars will move back into the third and final square to Neptune in Pisces. And we also have our full moon in Virgo coming up as well. Things may not be as they appear right now, you guys. The sun on Sunday the 5th is at 15 degrees of Pisces, an officer drilling his men in a simulated attack. I just kind of feel like things may not be as they appear to some extent moving through this week with this symbol in play on Sunday, especially considering that we're moving into this Mars-Neptune square in the sign of Gemini and Pisces, which can create sort of like information wars and distort perception and like perspectives and narratives and stuff like that. But we will know more soon, you guys, and the whole truth is coming. But just something that I wanted to know as we close out this video today. So that's what I have to say today, you guys, in terms of the astrology. Quite a long one, but there's a lot to say. We are in a very significant month of this year, and we've just got some important energy playing out. So it is a weekend of healing, heart healing, inner childhood healing, personal like transmuting, coming out of, you know, like perspective changes that really pull us out of the past versions of ourselves that couldn't do it and transform us into the new versions of ourselves that are fully capable and have totally got this. So, very productive energy weekend I feel like we have before us. Now we're going to grab one more card. This is a synchronicity card, and these are by Janice Shellman. They are just little messages from God's Spirit Universe that we can use as sort of like a mantra, or just give us some guidance or assistance in terms of what we need to know and keep in mind as we're going throughout the weekend. So let's get one synchronicity card, one synchronicity message to help us on our way this weekend. And it's a perfect message, you guys. This is exactly what we're doing, and this is what we need to know. It says, forget the past. We are healing, like I've said, probably a million times over the course of this report. We are healing from the past. We are healing from old wounds, and we are moving on. Forget the past. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So on point, so on theme. This is a perfect message. Give up your worldly beliefs and learn the truths of life. Feed your subconscious mind with life-giving patterns. Accept the positive aspects of God and let go of all the negativity. Forget the past. Get on with the future. In this way, your spirit will gradually grow and you will reach your goal. We are being released from anything, anywhere that we held ourselves back in the past, you guys. We are going through this process of self-actualization so that we can come into our potential and reach our goals, achieve this level of fulfillment, and bring ourselves back to life. So forget the past. That's what we're doing so that we can grow into who we've always truly been meant to become. So that's what I have to say, you guys. Should be a very nice weekend of healing, growth, change, and moving on from some things that we've outgrown at this point in time. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think they would like this type of content, be interested in this type of astrology as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I truly value and appreciate your feedback. If you have experiences going on that line up with what I'm talking about in these transits, leave them in the comment section below because I love knowing, you know, how things are playing out for you guys. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, Instagram, some other social media stuff in my description box below. If you're into any of that, I write a blog, I post shorts over there that kind of go along with these videos as well. And come back with me on Monday, you guys, next week. I think it will be Monday. Let's see. On Monday, we're going to be having Mercury in Pisces coming to the exact trine with the South Node. So again, this is more of this literally forgetting the past, release, moving on a mental level, letting some things go. That's what we're heading into. That's how we're starting our week next week. And then, of course, we are also going to be having our full moon in Virgo on Tuesday. So I will be here for all of that, you guys. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And until next time, bye, guys.